Hey everyone, welcome back to Genai's Tech News. We've got a packed show today, so let's dive straight into our top story. OpenAI is in the middle of a serious shakeup, and it's making waves across the entire AI industry. According to reporting from both TechCrunch and Wired, two of the company's most prominent executives, Chief Product Officer Kevin Weil and Sora team lead Bill Peebles, are heading for the exit. This comes hot on the heels of OpenAI quietly stepping back from its headline-grabbing Sora video generation tool. As The Verge reports, Peebles made the announcement himself on Friday, signaling the end of an era for what was once one of OpenAI's most buzzed-about products. And Kevin Weil, a former Instagram VP who led OpenAI's science applications team, is also departing, with his division being folded into Codex, the company's coding-focused AI. So what's going on here? TechCrunch puts it pretty bluntly. OpenAI is actively shedding what it calls side quests, consumer moonshots and flashy demos, and pivoting hard toward enterprise AI and its core business. In other words, less wow-factor video generation, more serious, revenue-generating products. It's a clear sign that even the most well-funded AI companies in the world have to make tough calls about where to focus. Big changes at one of the most watched companies on the planet, and we'll see where they go from here. All right, next up, and this one is genuinely wild. Sam Altman's identity verification company, World, is rapidly expanding its reach, and now it wants to prove you're a real human before your next date or business meeting. Let's start with Tinder. As The Verge and Wired both report, Tinder is rolling out a new perk. Users who visit one of World's facial scanning orbs to verify their real identity will be rewarded with 5 free boosts inside the app. The idea is that if you've stared into the orb, other users can trust you're an actual human being, not a bot, not a catfish, not an AI-generated profile. And in the modern dating app landscape, that's apparently a selling point worth paying for. But it doesn't stop at dating. TechCrunch is reporting that Zoom has also partnered with World to bring human verification into video meetings. Once verified through the orb, participants will show a special badge on their video tile, a visual signal that yes, there's a real person on the other end of that call, not some AI-generated deepfake impersonator. World, co-founded by Altman, has been pushing its orb technology for a while now, but these partnerships show it's entering the mainstream fast. The burning question, as always with biometric identity systems, is how comfortable people really are with scanning their face into a silver orb just to swipe right or join a stand-up meeting. The era of proving your humanity is officially here, folks. Now for a story that almost sounds too unbelievable, but it's completely real. A man has been sentenced after hacking into the United States Supreme Court's filing system and 2 other government networks, and then posting about it on Instagram under the handle, and I kid you not, @IHackTheGovernment. As reported by both Ars Technica and TechCrunch, Nicholas Moore used stolen login credentials to break into 3 separate U.S. government systems. That alone would be serious enough. But Moore apparently decided the best follow-up move was to brag publicly on social media and dump victims' private personal data online for anyone to see. Fast forward to his day in court. Moore stood before a judge and delivered what may be the most understated line of the year. "I made a mistake." According to Ars Technica, the judge ultimately sentenced him to probation rather than prison time. Now, reactions to that sentence are going to be split. On one hand, no prior record and genuine remorse can factor into sentencing. On the other, this wasn't jaywalking. This was breaching federal government systems and publicly humiliating victims. Whatever your take on the punishment, the cautionary tale here is crystal clear. Hacking government systems and then advertising it on Instagram is, shockingly, not a great life strategy. Truly a case of the hubris being almost as remarkable as the crime itself. Here's an interesting political meets AI story that's worth paying attention to. The Verge is reporting that the relationship between AI company Anthropic and the Trump administration, which has been, to put it mildly, frosty, may be starting to thaw, and a brand new AI model is at the center of it. For context, the Trump administration has been openly hostile toward Anthropic, labeling the company a, quote, radical left woke company, and even suggesting it posed a threat to national security. Not exactly the kind of press any company wants from the federal government. But now Anthropic has unveiled what The Verge describes as a buzzy new cybersecurity-focused AI model called Claude Mythos Preview. And according to the reporting, This model, built specifically to help organizations defend against digital threats, is generating enough interest in government circles that some of that icy tension may be melting away. It's a fascinating case study in how tech companies navigate political headwinds. When your product aligns with a government priority, in this case, national cybersecurity, it can change the conversation pretty quickly. Whether Claude Mythos Preview is enough to fully repair the relationship remains to be seen, but it's a smart strategic move from Anthropic. In Washington, being useful tends to matter more than being liked. If you want to know where the AI investment money is flowing right now, look no further than this next story. TechCrunch is reporting that Cursor, the AI-powered coding tool that has become a favorite among software developers, is currently in talks to raise over $2 billion in fresh funding, at a staggering valuation of $50 billion. According to TechCrunch's sources, returning investors Andreessen Horowitz, better known as A16Z, and Thrive Capital are both expected to lead the round. This would be a massive vote of confidence in Cursor's trajectory, especially as enterprise adoption of AI coding tools has been surging. For some perspective, a $50 billion valuation puts Cursor in rare company. This is a tool that essentially helps developers write, edit, and debug code faster using AI, and companies are clearly willing to pay handsomely for that kind of productivity boost. It also tells a broader story about where the enterprise software market is heading. As more businesses look to AI to accelerate their development pipelines, tools like Cursor are becoming critical infrastructure rather than nice-to-have add-ons. $50 billion is a bold number, but given the growth trajectory TechCrunch is describing, it's clear the market believes the AI coding revolution is just getting started. Heads up if you're on Windows, this one is urgent. TechCrunch is reporting that 3 security vulnerabilities in Windows Defender have now moved beyond the realm of theory and are being actively exploited by hackers in real-world attacks. Here's how this unfolded. A security researcher publicly published details of the 3 flaws, along with the actual code needed to exploit them. That kind of disclosure is a double-edged sword. It raises awareness and pressures vendors to patch quickly, but it also hands a roadmap to bad actors. And according to a cybersecurity firm cited by TechCrunch, that's exactly what's happening. Attackers are now using those published exploits to compromise organizations right now. The critical detail here is that these flaws remain unpatched. Windows Defender, of course, is the built-in security tool on virtually every Windows machine, the thing that's supposed to protect you. Having vulnerabilities in your security software is an especially uncomfortable situation. The advice here is straightforward. Make sure your Windows systems are up to date, and keep a close eye on any official patches from Microsoft. If you manage IT for an organization, this one needs to be on your radar immediately. Cybersecurity is always a race between attackers and defenders, and right now, the attackers have a head start on this one. All right, let's wrap up with a couple of quick-hit stories that are both worth your attention. First up, some bad news for anyone who liked tinkering with their Amazon Fire Stick. Ars Technica is reporting that Amazon's 2 newest Fire Stick models no longer support sideloading, meaning you can't install apps from outside Amazon's official store anymore. This is a significant shift that essentially locks down the platform, removing the flexibility that many users relied on to run third-party streaming apps or custom software. If sideloading is important to you, you may want to think carefully before upgrading to the new hardware. And finally, in the world of cybersecurity drama, a Russia-friendly cryptocurrency exchange called Genai is claiming that a $15 million cyber attack on its platform was the work of a, quote, Western special service. According to Ars Technica, Genai argues that the level of resources and sophistication required to pull off the hack are, in their words, available exclusively to unfriendly states. It's a bold accusation with no hard evidence presented publicly, and it lands squarely in the ongoing digital Cold War narrative that has defined geopolitics for years. Whether or not the claim holds any water, it's a reminder that cybersecurity is as much a political battlefield as a technical one. And that's a wrap on today's show. If you found this useful, smash that like button and subscribe to Genai's Tech News so you never miss a story. I'll see you in the next one.